Hey guys, this is HerO from DifferenceInSkill bringing you guys a deck profile. This one's going to be of a deck that I haven't done before, and there's only one other mention of it on this channel, and it's Pale Moon. So I'm gonna do a deck profile on Pale Moon. This deck uses set 3 and set 7 cards. So you English players will be getting set 3 in a couple of days, in a few days. Some people already have it. So Pale Moon does debut in that set. You have, I'll be pointing out which cards come in set 3, which cards come out in set 7. Right now, this type of deck is going to be Beast Tamer Beatdown, so it's basically using Beast Tamers, which I'll explain which cards those are and what their effects are during the deck profile. And basically, you hit for good columns, 21k columns on the sides, 21k column in the Vanguard, and basically just beat down your opponent in that way. This deck also has like a bit of the Pale Moon feel to it. It's not just solely beatdown. You still have cards such as Purple Trapezist, Midnight Bunny that allow you to do some soul shenanigans while still being able to not go too off course on the winning image of the deck, right? So I'm going to start off with the deck profile, and then I'll be going through more detail into each cards, and then explaining why some cards are necessary from set 7, why the deck isn't going to be very viable with just set 3. So you English players that want to play this deck, you're going to have to wait a bit until set 7 comes out, which is just in a month, so it's not that big of a deal. So I'll start with the starter. The starter is Girl Across the Gap, and she's probably the #1 reason why the deck isn't, actually #2 reason, why this deck isn't quite viable yet with just set 3. This card comes out in set 7. You set 3 players will be stuck with Underworld Manager, which when you ride a grade 1 Pale Moon over Underworld Manager, you can soul charge 1. And that's all it does. It doesn't move to a rearguard circle, it just stays in the soul, and then when you ride something over it, you can soul charge 1. And that's not very good. So you have this now, set 7. Set 7 brings you Girl Across the Gap. 5k, when you ride a Pale Moon over her, you can move her to a rearguard circle, which obviously already better than Underworld Manager. And then her effect is, it's kind of like a mini Conroe, I like to think of it. You can counterblast 1, and put the card into their soul, and then take something else out. It's pretty neat. I like to think of it like a Conroe, because 9 times out of 10 I'm getting the grade 1 that I rode, or a Turquoise Beast Tamer that I soul charge or something. So it's kind of like a Conroe, except you, instead of looking through your deck, you're going to look through your soul, and you can take anything out and put it out. So it's very neat, and very, very versatile. Allows you to set up set up your columns appropriately. And if you had to ride a Turquoise Beast Tamer, then it's not the end of the world, because you can just get it out with this. Basically guaranteed, because it only costs 1 counterblast, so you can use it right away. So it's pretty good. So that's the starter of the deck. Then we have trigger lineup. Since it's a born beatdown focus deck, I'm running 4 draw and 8 crit. 8 crits, obviously, just to put the pressure on the opponent, and since I'm swinging for high columns as well with the Vanguard, gonna make it tougher for them to guard, and if I get a crit through, then, it's always kind of good. Then you have 4 heal triggers. So, the second critical trigger for Pale Moon comes out in set 7. So if you're playing set 3 Pale Moon, you're going to be playing probably 4 stands. So 4 stand, 4 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. And so that's not quite the ideal lineup for this type of deck. So that's why also set 7 brings you Poison Juggler. And that's going to be, sorry, not Poison Juggler, Dynamite Juggler. So that's going to be your second critical trigger that you'll get in set 7. So, yep. So those are the triggers. So we have a grade 1 lineup. Now grade 1 lineup consists of 3 Purple Trapezists. These guys are also coming out in set 7, so that's reason number 3, 4. That you won't be quite as good. 3 Midnight Bunny. These cards come out in set 3. Midnight Bunny is a 7k booster. When your attack hits, you can counterblast 1 and take something out from the soul. Now it pairs up quite nicely with Purple Trapezist, because what does Purple Trapezist do? When it appears in a rearguard circle, you can put something from a rearguard from your field into your soul and take something else out from your soul. So what happens is that you attack with something with boosted by Midnight Bunny. Let's say you attack whatever. So you attack with it with your rearguard, and let's say your rearguard hits. So now, you can activate Midnight Bunny's effect, you can counterblast 1, you can put her in the soul. If Purple Trapeze is in the soul, you can take her out, sorry, it's a her, And then what you can do, Purple Trapezes effect activates, you can put this rear guard that attacks into the soul and take something out, and then you have a full standing column and you can attack again. So they pair up really nicely. Midnight Bunny is also useful for getting Turquoise Beast Tamers that got soul charged. If you hit, you can counterblast one, and then just put it into the soul and take out a Turquoise Beast Tamer. So finally, the focus of the deck for Turquoise Beast Tamers. Now, what does she do? I've been mentioning Turquoise Beast Tamer this whole time, but what does she do? Her effect is when Crimson Beast Tamer, this card. So when this card is in the soul, on my turn, she gains 3k, she gains 3k. Now, she's a grade 2, and this is a grade 1. So I have a 9k booster available to me. Now, why is that important? Well, we'll see soon. I'll be explaining how columns set up nicely. So we have a potential 9k booster here. Obviously, Crimson Beast Tamer has to go into the soul, so it's going to be a bit tough with set 3 only cards. But I'll explain a bit more later. And now these are 4 perfect cards because I don't have them, because I want to get this video out, and I'm just proxying them for now. So those are 4 perfect cards. So now, how do I get Crimson Beast Tamer into the soul consistently? Well, we have this card. Dancing Princess of the Night Sky. Grade 2s now. She's an 8k grade 2. When she appears into a Vanguard or Rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1 and put any card from your deck into the soul. Oh, well, that fixes everything. I just call her, counterblast 1, put the girl into the soul, done. 9k boosters and 11k beat sticks available to my liking. So this card comes out in set 7, and it's also why this deck is not quite as consistent or as viable with set 3 only cards, because without this card in set 3, I mean, the Beast Tamers come out in set 3, but you're going to be relying on random soul charging in order to get that Crimson Beast Tamer into your soul, in order to have access to that 9k and 9k booster and 11k beat stick. So it's not very consistent, because you have to be hoping and crossing your fingers that you get a Crimson Beast Tamer or soul charged. And Dancing Princess of the Night Sky completely fixes all of that, because you can just counterblast 1, done. I have it in my soul. What else do I need? Now, I run 4 because I want to draw into her as soon as possible. Like, I don't want to be stuck more than I need to be without having this card in my soul. It's very important for this deck that the Crimson Beast Tamer gets into the soul, so that's why I run 4 of these. And even after Crimson Beast Tamer gets into the soul, I can also put in Barking Cerberus. I can put in Purple Trapezist, you know, to set up plays with Purple Trapezist. So it's not bad of a card at all. It's a decent use of Counterblast, especially in this deck, because this deck does not run a Silverthorn, Dragon Tamer, Liqueur. So it's Counterblast, it's less restricted in its Counterblast use compared to a deck that focuses on her. So that's 4 Dancing Princess of the Night Sky. Continuing the grade 2s, we have 4 Crimson Beast Tamers, obviously 4. When I get it, maybe if I can ride it, then that's great, and then I save a Counterblast. You know, Purple Trapezes and Crimson Beast Tamer and Turquoise Beast Tamer in the same column, swing for 20, so that's also, you know, kind of good. And ideally, I would have 3 Turquoise Beast Tamers as my back row, so, you know, having this available to me is also not too bad either. I mean, 20k columns are nothing to laugh at, right? So 4 of her, and then we have 3 Barking Cerberus. Barking Cerberus is 10k beat stick, and, I mean, he's not bad. He can mess around a bit with Purple Trapezist. If you have, let's say you have both Purple Trapezist and Barking Cerberus in your soul, and let's say Midnight Bunny hits with something and you call out Purple Trapezist, you put the rear guard that attacks into the soul, and then you take out Barking Cerberus, and you have a 16k column, which is a pretty solid number to have. So that's an additional 10k shield that your opponent has to give you. So I mean, it's not too bad. I think it really helps a lot. Barking Cerberus, I think it, you know, makes good use of Midnight Bunnies, because otherwise, you know, you'd be hitting maybe 15Ks, maybe with Dancing Night Princess, or if you still haven't gotten Crimson Beast Tamer, then Crimson Beast Tamer will fling for 15k, and if your opponent's Vanguard is 11k, then that's a poor number with Midnight Bunny. So, you know, Barking Cerberus allows you to help hit good numbers with both Trapezist and Midnight Bunny, so those are the grade 2s. Finally, the grade 3s. So like I mentioned, I have no Silver Dragon Tamer Liqueur. What I run, these cards come out in set 7. This is Nightmare Doll Amy. Now, what does she do? Is she good as Nightmare Doll Alice? Well, depends what you define as good. She plays a completely different role than Alice. Alice is more of a preferred grade 3 rear guard and allows you to, soul swap. If it hits, you counterblast one and you can put her into soul and then take out a trapezist and etc. etc. A bunch of plays occur. But what Amy does is she's simply a soul charger. She when she's the Vanguard, you soul charge 1 every turn and she gains 2k. And then she has a Mega Blast which will never get off, so it's not important that I talk about it. But she's simply a soul charger. That's what she is. She's simply a soul charger. Allows you to get a healthy soul. Allows you to get if you still haven't gotten Crimson Beast Tamer in your soul for some reason, allows you to get her in. Allows you to get maybe a Turquoise Beast Tamer in your soul that you can get out with Gap, Girl Across the Gap. Sets up Midnight Bunny plays, sets up Trapezist plays, puts in a Barking Cerberus, etc. And it gains 2k. Now, why is that important? Well, I'm just going to talk about it after I introduce this guy, Midnight Invader. Midnight Invader is just a rear guard grade 3. Basically, you don't really want him as a Vanguard. When he attacks the Vanguard, he gains 2,000 power. Crazy as that. So he's a 12k attacker, basically. Now, why do I want a bunch of 12k beat sticks? Well, if you guys remember, Turquoise Beast Tamer is going to be a 9k booster. So what's 12 plus 9? 21. Oh, you mean if this is my setup, then all my columns are swinging for 21? That's correct. 21 on the Vanguard. 21 on the Vanguard. 21 on the Vanguard. I mean, Royal Paladin are not the only clan that can create easy 21k columns, Palamides. So yeah, it's basically this is what your ideal field would be. Near the late game when your opponent's at 5-4 damage and he's like having trouble guarding, and then you 15k guard. You need 20k guard. You need 15k guard, and then yeah, eventually their hand runs out. So yeah, 9k and boosters and 12k attackers make for sweet column numbers. And so yeah, that's basically it's a beatdown deck, and that's how the deck works. You use Dancing Knight Princess to get your Crimson Beast Tamer into soul as soon as possible to get this card up to 9k, and then you just beat your opponent down. But there's also a little, a Pale Moon feel of being able to soul swap and mess around with cards such as Midnight Bunny, Purple Trapezist, and Barking Cerberus. You have this circus performance feel. That is what Pale Moon is supposed to be all about, which is what I like about this deck. And the best part about this deck is that it's actually really dirt cheap. The highest rarity card in this deck are the Crimson Beast Tamers and the Perfect Guards, which are triple Rs. The Perfect Guards should be no more than $10. No more than $10. I got them for 8. Well, this is a Japanese deck, so they're a little bit cheaper. So the Perfect Guards I got them for 8. Crimson Beast Tamers I got them for 7 each, and those are the most expensive cards in this deck. Everything else is a rare or a common. Even the starter is a common. Across the Gap is a common. So yeah, I mean, this deck I made it for under $100. For under $100, and how does it do competitively? I think it does pretty damn well, considering its cost and considering that you don't really have an advantage engine. It's just hitting for high numbers. It actually does really well, in my opinion. I really like it. I really like messing around with it. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, the best advantage creator is the Purple Trapezist Midnight Bunny play, where you have Trapezist in the soul, you have Cerberus in the soul. Let's say that's what I wrote. Let's say I hit Midnight Bunny with Barking Cerberus. Let's say let's say this is my field. This is my setup. Let's say I hit with this. Let's say this is my damage, because I'm really good in damage check 2 Purple Trapezist. I counterblast 1, put this into the soul, take out Purple Trapezist. Purple Trapezist effect activates, push this into the soul, and you take out the other Barking Cerberus. And there you go. You have another 16k column. That's really the only advantage engine per se. But then you're always hitting for, well, hopefully always be hitting for 21. So that's also your secondary kind of advantage engine, right? So yeah, that's the deck. I really like it. Really like Pale Moon. Really big fan of Pale Moon now. So yeah, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. Don't forget to check out the giveaway that is ending on Friday for week 3. If you want to get some free sleeves, you better check that out if you want free sleeves. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. HerO's out.